in the shadow of colonial oppression, as the Dominion of New England tightened its grip on the fledgling settlements of Massachusetts, one man's voice rose above the clamor of discontent. In 1687, the small, timber-framed town of Ipswich buzzed with whispers of defiance against Governor Edmund Andros, whose arbitrary rule and heavy-handed taxes threatened the cherished liberties of the Puritan colonists. At the heart of this unrest stood Reverend John Wise, a fiery and resolute preacher whose intellect and courage would ignite a spark of rebellion. This is the story of a man whose stand for self-government planted the seeds of liberty, long before the shots at Lexington and Concord rang out.
John Wise, I challenge you to a wrestling match.
I'm sorry, Captain Chandler, but I am too old for wrestling.
Too old or too afraid of losing?
Come on, Reverend Wise. Surely you are not going to let him speak to you like that.
Come on, Reverend Wise. No one's stronger than you.
I don't know that this would be best.
You heard them, Reverend. They want to see if you're as strong as they claim you to be.
I never claimed any such thing. But if you insist...
Keep it up, Captain Chandler. You got it, Reverend Wise.
Wonderful! What a sight!
The Reverend is even stronger than what they say.
You will get no argument from me to that point. Congratulations, Reverend Wise, on a well-earned victory. Now, if you'll just toss me my horse, I'll be on my way.
My name is John Wise, but you've probably never heard of me. I am a simple minister in the Massachusetts village of Ipswich. People there also know me as a champion wrestler, which is why I'm constantly being challenged to prove myself. Little did I know that in the year 1687, I would get into a fight greater than any wrestling match. I would find myself battling the governor of our colony, Sir Edmund Andros. Governor Andros tried to take away our right of self-government. He also hit us with unfair taxes, removing our voice in government. I decided then and there, the right to self-government was worth fighting for. I come from modest beginnings, the son of an indentured servant. My father gained freedom when his master died, and he's celebrated by marrying my mother, Mary Thompson of Braintree, in 1640. I was born in July 1652, the fifth of 13 children. In 1669, I became the first son of an indentured servant to enter Harvard College.
May these young scholars go forth to serve God and this colony with wisdom and humility.
After I graduated, I was called to a small church in Chebaco, Massachusetts. I lived a quiet life there and enjoyed pastoring my flock. But everything changed when James II, King of England, decided to create a super colony in America in 1686. The British created the Dominion of New England, which combined 8 colonies into one. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Plymouth and New York, as well as East and West Jersey. The Dominion's government was centralized and Sir Edmund Andros took control as Governor General. Governor Andros says he has the power to appoint all county sheriffs.
But the sheriffs pick jurors in trials.
How can we get justice if the governor's man picks all jurors?
That's like putting the fox in charge of the henhouse.
Governor Andros is also replacing Puritan judges and officers with Anglicans.
I hear he's even forcing the Superior Court to meet only in Boston.
Down with them!
We left England so we could rule ourselves. They will tax us to death, just as they did in England.
Governor Andros increased our taxes while he receives an outrageous salary of £1,200.
£1,200 from my hard-earned wages.
That's more than the Massachusetts government spends in a year.
Reverend Wise, we have to do something.
This fight, I'll take on.
Here, here! Let England meet our best wrestler.
They better listen or they'll feel the end of my pitchfork. Let Andros try to come to my orchard to get taxes.
We want to hear from the Reverend. He'll know what to do.
Hear, hear!
Governor Andros has no right to do away with our General Assembly. He cannot raise our taxes without approval from our legislature.
He's trying to take away our liberty as freeborn English subjects.
Amen. Taxes cannot be placed on us without the consent of an assembly chosen by freeholders. We should refuse to select a commissioner to collect this tax.
Preach it, Reverend.
We will oppose this.
Let Andros try to come take my money illegally without representation.
When the people of Ipswich decided not to elect a commissioner to collect the new taxes, news spread. Other towns.
We will not stand for this injustice. This is an affront to our way of life.
Rowley.
We will not stand for this tyranny!
Haverhill.
They take our coin, yet offer no say. This burden, this levy, it is not the way of free men.
Salisbury. They all decided not to elect tax commissioners.
By order of the king, this assembly is unlawful. What is the meaning of this intrusion? We're doing nothing wrong!
Like all tyrants, Governor Andros responded by arresting me and 27 other free men.
We'll not be silenced by the crown.
They imprisoned us in Boston for an upcoming trial there.
Six of us were put on trial before a biased judge and a jury specially selected to find us guilty.
The defendant may address this court and jury.
As Englishmen, we brought our rights with us across the ocean, the same rights given to us by the Magna Carta.
You did, but by living on English land, you also submit to our authority and collection of all duties and taxes.
Guilty!
What else would you expect from a cherry-picked judge and jury?
John Wise, you are fined £50, suspended from the ministry, and must pay a £1,000 bond for 1 year of good behavior.
Governor Andros thinks he can quiet us. But he's wrong.
He's wrong about most things. We never selected him to rule over us.
So the question is, do we have the right to rule ourselves and select our own representatives? The Crown says no, but we say
Yes!
Oh, yes!
Meanwhile, across the ocean, a similar rebellion was taking place in England. This revolution would have a big impact on the American colonies. Questions abounded. Who would be king after James II? Would he be Catholic or Protestant? Would he have absolute power or share power with Parliament? James II became king in 1685 when his brother, King Charles II, died.
I crown you with this crown of glory.
King Charles was a Protestant, but James II became a Catholic in the late 1660s. He kept it a secret for many years. Because James did not have a son, people thought the crown would go to James's daughter, Mary. Both Mary and her sister Anne had been raised Protestant under orders of Charles II. Mary was married to William of Orange, Dutch steward of several provinces in the United Provinces of Netherlands. As you will see, William and Mary played a big role over who ruled England, and whether that ruler would be Protestant or Catholic. But in England, the fight wasn't just between Protestants and Catholics. It was also between the King and Parliament, the body of elected officials. It was a fight between royal power and the people's voice in Parliament.
We are the ones chosen by the people to represent them. They are the ones who pay the king's taxes.
The American colonies faced a similar struggle, can see members arguing with each other.
We will not stand for these unjust taxes.
Aye, they demand too much.
This tyranny must end.
Our fight was between the King's appointed governor, Sir Edmund Andros, and the people's voice in the legislature. In both cases, it was all about how much power a king or governor has over their people. Like Governor Andros, King James II made changes that angered people.
King James dissolved Parliament, and now he's forming a new Parliament more to his liking that would give him more power. He's trying to stack Parliament. If you ask me, he's trying to make England like France, where the king has absolute power. And who asked you? King Louis is throwing French Protestants in jail and closing their churches. The same thing could happen here. We must appeal for help from William in the Netherlands.
In late April 1688, Admiral Edward Russell and Captain Arthur Herbert travelled to the Netherlands to meet with William of Orange.
We urge you to gather a great fleet and come to England to rule. You will have overwhelming support if you do. We must stop King James from packing Parliament. It's now or never. I could be ready by the end of September to come to your aid.
Then, in June 1688, King James's wife, Queen Mary Beatrice, gave birth to a baby boy. Suddenly, everything changed. The king had a Catholic heir. How would the people of England, who were mostly Protestant, react?
Queen Mary Beatrice has given birth to a son.
No, she didn't.
I hear they smuggled a baby boy into her bedroom in a warming pan. Her real baby was a girl.
That's preposterous.
7 prominent leaders who opposed King James met in London. They signed a letter to the Dutch stadtholder William of Orange, urging him to invade England. Those men later became known as the Immortal Seven.
This may be our only hope of saving our country from Catholic rule. Tell William that 19 of every 20 people in our land are unhappy with King James. Also, he needs to know that many officers in the army are angry with the king.
If William of Orange doesn't invade, our king may become an absolute monarch, like King Louis XIV of France.
We will need 2 armies. One will invade England, while the other protects the United Provinces.
We shall also assemble the largest navy in Dutch history.
And so the Glorious Revolution began. William of Orange invaded England with 500 ships and 15,000 men. It was the largest fleet ever in the English Channel.
Whoa! This howler is deadly! Below deck, mate, or we will never make it! We'll never make it under these conditions. 2 ships have already gone down, sir.
Turn the flagship around. We have no choice. We will head back home and relaunch the invasion later.
Though storms foiled the first attempted invasion, the second attempt succeeded, and Dutch troops landed on the shores of England November 5th, 1688. On November 9th, William of Orange rode into the town of Exeter.
For liberty and faith!
But in London, chaos breaks out in the streets in riots against the king.
Down with the king! To arms!
King James's troops fired on protesters.
No popery! Down with the king!
Fomenting even more rebellion. The situation became more desperate.
For William and liberty!
As some of the royal troops deserted, switching to William's side.
infernal nosebleed. When will it stop?
Sire, Lord Delamere has led an uprising in Cheshire.
I advise we march back to London.
No, I say we press forward and attack William's forces.
Blast these constant nosebleeds.
For England's liberty, we ride to William!
On November 22nd, 3 of James's closest advisors took soldiers and joined William's side.
Sire, Baron Churchill and others have joined William's side.
But the news got even worse for King James of England. Both of the king's daughters fled, deserting their father. Mary was married to William of Orange, Dutch steward of several provinces in the United Provinces of Netherlands.
You are safe! Together, we shall prevail. Husband, my allegiance is with you as the new ruler of England.
And my heart is with you, my dear. We shall ascend to the throne.
The other daughter, Anne, escaped when she learned that her friend, Lady Sarah Churchill, was going to be arrested. King James now has been deserted by both family and friend.
Everything must be destroyed. Quickly, before they arrive. Leave nothing for them to find.
King James realized he had only one option. Flee.
And Sheldon, what are you proposing? We dress you as an ordinary foot soldier, sire. It is our best ruse to get you out of the city safely.
Do you have the Great Seal?
Yes, sire, I do. For safekeeping. Only the crown shall hold the Great Seal. It shall only belong to the crown. There, Sir William, you are welcome to find it at the bottom of the Thames. Now let's Mr. William try to conduct business without the Great Seal of England.
King James II tossed the Great Seal into the River Thames, assuming that William's new government would not be able to function without it. But he did not know there was still a matrix, or mould, left to create a new and official Seal of England. This escape must have reminded King James of when he was 14 years old and fled from London during the First English Civil War. That time, he was disguised as a girl.
Did you hear the news? King James II has been overthrown. William, Prince of Orange, is now the new king.
An answer to our prayers. Be assured, the crown will not be happy.
The colonies must not get wind of this. Arrest the newspapermen. Word of this cannot get to the colonists.
Yes, Governor. Right away.
Arrest these men.
On what charges? Libel and treason against the crown.
Governor Andros did his best to prevent people in the colonies to learn of the overthrow of King James.
They can lock us away, Thomas, but they cannot silence the truth.
But despite trying to stop the presses, word spread like wildfire through the colonies.
Now we have heard King James has fled to France. Well, he was always a Frenchman at heart.
To the overthrow of the king.
To his overthrow and downfall.
The events in England helped our cause by fanning the flames of rebellion in the American colonies in the year of our Lord 1689. Soldiers on the main frontier mutinied and marched to Boston to begin the revolution. On and all, we wanted the right to self-government and not be lorded over by a faraway and greedy majesty.
For liberty! For Boston! Will you stand with us?
By the time the soldiers from Maine reached Boston, they called on the militia there and in Charlestown to join the insurrection.
Forward! March!
Their numbers reached 1,000. The revolution of the Dominion was underway, as was our right of self-determination. Merciful God, help us.
Hoist the colors! Prepare to dock!
As a representative of His Majesty, we are seizing both you and your ship.
With the seizing of the HMS Rose on April 18th and the arrest of its captain, the flames of rebellion were growing stronger by the day.
Beware the snares of this world, for the path to right...
And at the townhouse, Reverend Cotton Mather intended to keep the flames white hot.
Speak to us, Reverend Mather.
Yes, Reverend. Do we rebel or not? We must do what the Prince of Orange did in England. Then we must take Governor Andros, the greatest cause of our miseries,
with his lavish lifestyle on our taxes.
Yes, it's time to storm Fort Hill. Yes, it is time. Under royal law, you have no right to rebel. We have a higher law. Not the divine right of kings, as your King James might say, but the divine right of self-determination. We are all created equal in the sight of our Creator. Governor Andros, surrender the fort and the government if you want to prevent bloodshed.
You must come with us to the townhouse.
I refuse to surrender, but I will accompany you to the townhouse. Will you surrender, Governor Andros?
I will not.
Then you are now under arrest.
And so are you, Joseph Dudley and Edward Randolph. Mr. Randolph, you will go to the fort and tell them the governor ordered them to surrender. Or else your life will end.
Stop! Who goes there?
Tell him.
By order of the governor, this fort must be surrendered to the local militia.
As the governor orders.
Oh, what have I done?
Our strength was growing. Fort Hill gave up without a fight.
Don't shoot!
Our rebellion was building. Next, we took control of the garrison at Castle Island. Our men were beginning to smell the fresh air of freedom and self-rule.
Relieve the ship of its sails.
And what do we do with them, sir? Hide them.
I don't want the prisoners trying to escape by ship.
In Plymouth, rebels arrested Nathaniel Clark, a pro-Dominion officer.
You are under arrest by order of the council.
Resistance will only make this harder.
In Rhode Island, the people voted to return the colony to the government they had before 1686.
It is unanimous. The Dominion is over.
In New York, Jacob Leisler and his rebels attacked Fort James. Eventually, he controlled the entire province and named himself Lieutenant Governor of New York.
Forward, men, to victory!
Huzzah! Huzzah!
In Maryland, a planter named John Coode gathered 700 men. They confronted the governor's militia, which surrendered without firing a shot.
Our allegiance is to King William.
It's important we get the new king, William III, to approve our rebellion. Until we get his approval, we should keep Sir Edmund Andros in prison. Agreed. Hopefully we will hear from King William soon. Give this word to the revolutionists in Boston. Tell them to send Andros and the other officials to England. It is here he must stand trial.
The new king says to send Andros back to England, but he says nothing about whether he accepts our revolution.
This doesn't sound good.
We will wait and pray.
I hold in my hand a proclamation from His Majesty, the King.
It wasn't until August 1689 that King William III finally approved our revolution.
Praise God! Amen.
Our new government couldn't have held together much longer.
Sir Edmund Andros appeared at a hearing in England in 1690.
The Crown's case was compelling, but justice prevailed. Now, for the journey home.
Even though he was set free, all knew that the Dominion of New England was now dead and buried. Rhode Island and Connecticut were allowed to go back to their old charter, regaining their power of self-government. King William kept Massachusetts as a royal colony with a royal governor.
Also send this letter to the colony at Massachusetts.
But the colony was allowed to elect an assembly to decide on taxes and expenses. But in New York, things didn't go as smoothly. The king appointed Colonel Henry Sloughter to be the new governor. But Jacob Leisler had no intention of giving up control of New York. So the Crown decided to take back control of New York. Sloughter sent Major Richard Ingoldsby to New York in 1691, demanding that Leisler surrender Fort James. He did not.
This fort is property of the Crown, and we demand that you surrender to this fort to the rightful owners, unless you want to be hung for treason. The fort belongs to us! Bring up the cannons. If they insist, we will blast them out. Fire! Forward, men! For the king! Charge! You are a traitor, Leisler, and you will be tried as such. I am the rightful leader of this colony.
But before Leisler could appeal to England, he was tried, sentenced, and executed.
Hang Leisler, will they? Tax us for their own benefit with no representation. The Crown will pay for this. They don't control our destiny.
This swift and brutal punishment created tensions in New York for years to come. After we drove Governor Andros from office, I returned to preaching in Ipswich. I also sued Joseph Dudley for denying me a writ of habeas corpus when I was arrested in 1687.
Members of the jury.
Whenever authorities detain someone, that person must be brought before a court or judge to prove why the imprisonment is lawful. This was not done in my case. I won the lawsuit. This document reduced the power of the king and gave more importance to the elected officials in Parliament. Freedom of speech and debates shall not be impeached or questioned in any court or place out of Parliament. Election of members of Parliament shall be free. It is the right of the subjects to petition the king, and prosecutions for such petitioning are illegal. Protestants may have arms for their defense suitable to their conditions and as allowed by law. Excessive bail ought not to be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. Besides pastoring, I also spent my time writing and talking about church issues and the Glorious Revolution.
Before the Glorious Revolution, absolute monarchs threatened representative government, in which people have a voice through their assemblies. Yet many colonies, such as ours, still have royal governors. True. But we also have representative assemblies that can act freely against the royal governors. Royal power has been put on a leash. Let's hope they never break that leash. Royal power has sharp teeth. Not if we feed it a steady diet of democracy.
They say you are a wrestling champion. Prove it. I challenge you today to a contest. Not this again. Come on now, get him!
So, the years 1688 and 1689 were turning points in England and the colonies. In England, the people overthrew the absolute monarchy. And in the colonies, we stopped an attempt to create a super colony. Our struggle was difficult, but that's to be expected. As I always said, if a man is placed at the helm to steer in all types of weather, he mustn't be afraid of the waves or a wet coat. Our course was clear. We must reject monarchy in the colonies, especially if we can find a safer way home. Democracy is our safer way home.